Yo, what up? It's Aaron Moses. Gang, this video is called How to Tell If a Woman Hates a Man. I'm gonna offend a couple people. I don't mean to offend, but this video is more so for the ladies. Of course, the men are gonna be able to utilize this information, and when it comes to the ladies utilizing this information, just understand this comes from a place of having a lack of self-awareness and a lack of awareness of what true femininity is. When you take out all of the parts, when you take out all of the firefighters, the managers, and when you take out the exiles out, just understanding what femininity is from a core standpoint. Now, the first thing that you have to understand is patriarchy is not profanity, man. When you use patriarchy as if it is malarkey, you are displaying an obvious hatred for men, because we have to look at this from a historical standpoint and from a strategical and statistical standpoint. It's pretty obvious that patriarchy is a much more usable system than matriarchy. Not because I said it, but because we have the evidence. You might be able to pull up a few countries. I believe there's one in Africa, there's a couple in South America, where matriarchy is the political system that they use. But there's 8 billion people in this world, give or take. If 8 billion people don't subscribe to it, it's probably not a system that's workable. You might be able to say, well, ancient Egypt and this country and that country, okay, but they didn't last. They didn't make it to right now. So this system, not because I don't like it or not because I don't think that it's something that's useful, it just hasn't proven itself to be useful. We also have Black America. You know, the 13% of America, 85% of their households are matriarchal. The whole community, the Black community overall, which is financially at the bottom, a lot of times morally at the bottom, ethically, we make up most of the prison population. We commit a lot of crime. Not we, because I don't know them niggas. I'm just saying the 13%. A lot of them who are matriarchal don't do great things in America. I'm not saying all. I'm saying most of the Black population in America is matriarchal, and we're not in a great place right now. So you could say matriarchy is good in theory, but yeah, it's not working for us. It's not working for Black people. What is this? Hold up. Why is this doing that? All right, so next, man, if a female is constantly emasculating men, always calling people bitch ass niggas, always calling them hoes, always calling them sassy, every time that a man makes a mistake or anytime that a man just does something that's something that is not necessarily disrespectful, or something that is disrespectful, something that makes you uncomfortable, you always try to equate that man, or you try to make that man into being feminine or not masculine. You know what I'm saying? That is an obvious sign that you hate men. If this man spilled some milk, oh, you spilled that milk, you must have not had a father. And you was going like, damn, bro, I must have not had a father. Well, you came from a bitch ass nigga and you're a bitch ass nigga. Like, anytime this man makes a mistake, you take every opportunity and every chance to downplay this man's masculinity, which means that you have an inclination to not like men. Nextly, bro, you don't have this goes without saying, I'm just going to word it like this. You can't necessarily define or display, which you're not supposed to display masculinity, but you can define what masculinity is, which I've seen females say something to the effect of, well, I had to step into my masculine, right? Or I'm going to have to step into my masculine. And when I see this step into my masculine behavior, it's not masculine at all. You're just acting a fool. You're just acting an ass. I'll give you one example. I saw a friend of mine who was a single mother. Shout out to her. She has a son. And she said, hold on, I have to watch this. Sometimes I have to step into my masculine because his father's not around. And she, hey, bitch ass nigga, get your dumb ass up, boy. do your homework, clean this room. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just had to step into my masculine real quick. I'm like, that's not masculine. What the fuck? No, nigga, you stepped into your prison. That was not, no, that's not, that has nothing to do. You yelling at your son and making him feel bad and bullying him and making him feel like less of a person is not that's not what masculine is, bro. You're just a bully. You stepping into your masculine has nothing that's not masculine, bro, at all. Like, nah. I don't know what's going on with this internet, but I don't know who told you what. But if you can only define masculinity as something that's toxic, if you think that gender neutral is the way to go as a whole, we should all just, nah, bro. You don't understand what masculinity is because you don't understand what femininity is. You don't understand the power that you hold. You don't understand the silver and the gold that's within your soul. You don't understand the gift that's within you. That's why you view masculinity as something that's toxic. I don't think a man can have toxic masculinity. I don't think a woman could have toxic femininity. I only think that when a woman tries to display when a woman tries to display masculinity, it's toxic because it doesn't belong there. That's what a toxin is, right? Minerals are not toxic unless you put too much of it in one place where it doesn't belong. Then it's toxic. I'm not a doctor or a scientist, but I was taught as a young man that everything has a place. Shout out to my dad for that. Everything has a place. So it might be poison for you, but it's food for some organism in the world. Something could feed off of this, probably. And it might be good for you, but somebody is allergic to this. You love shrimp. Aaron Moses is allergic to shrimp. It's toxin for me, but it's good for you. It feeds your mind, body, and soul. But if you don't have a good relationship with femininity, then you're not going to have a good relationship with masculinity. That's it. If you don't love yourself, then you're not going to be able to love your children properly. And that love comes from your parents. So you have to have a good display for that to even be possible. And I'm saying that you're wrong, actually. You're wrong. But you have to get that, you got to go to a different place with that. Then, of course, with that example, I'm just going to run through these too quick. She doesn't think that her children need a father because she's the mom and the dad. She doesn't even want to reach out. She doesn't even want to accept this man's child support. She sends it back because she thinks that he'll be entitled to seeing her children, which it is. A lot of times when women say my children and the father is heavily involved or wants to be, yeah. When we have too much, you know what? I will say this. I don't want to throw anybody off. But I will say this. Too much of anything is not good for you. That's just how it is, right? So you can be chaotic and you could be structured and organized. But if you just have too much jealousy, if you have too much insecurity, if you have, just going back, just look how I'm speaking, right? If a man can only see femininity as that, which that's not what I'm saying femininity is, but that's a part of it. If this man wants to move on and you're just so sick in your mind to keep his children away from you, keep his children away from him because he moved on, he might not even have a new female. He might not even have a new girlfriend. But you tried to move on, but you keep on figuring out that, damn, these niggas only want me for sex. They don't even want to be in a relationship with me. So he was my playboy friend. He already told me he's not going to stop having sex with his BM until we're official. And he's having sex with another female, and he's having sex with me. And my baby daddy doesn't even want me, and I only want him because my baby daddy doesn't want me. And I don't even really like this nigga, and I love my baby daddy. but he doesn't love me anymore. That's chaotic, my nigga. You gotta separate yourself from it. You need to just go in a mental health institution for a good 30 days. Don't talk to anybody but them doctors and the other crazy people around you. Figure it out, but don't take it out on another nigga. You actually don't love yourself. And you're trying to take it out on him, and it's gonna hurt your children. It's gonna hurt yourself more than anything. When you actually grow to love yourself and you actually process and break this whole situation down, you're gonna feel really bad because you hurt your children, bro. This is bigger than you. This hurt is gonna last for generations because of you. Anyways, when she says she hates men, when people joke about certain things, it's just like a stereotype, bro. There's truth in every stereotype. There's just a sprinkle of it in every stereotype. Black people love fried chicken. Yes, at some point that's all we had to eat when the blacks were slaves back in the day. So even though Koreans make good fried chicken, Mexicans make amazing fried chicken, Japanese people, white people make good fried chicken on TV. Everybody makes fried chicken, but why did this stereotype fried chicken and watermelon? Because we were in the field and that's all they gave us. So there's a stereotype to that. Yeah, and we were in the South and we had to make our own, whatever the case may be. But when she makes a joke, when people make jokes, like extreme jokes, a lot of this, just like the whole thing with the Skeet Davison dude, when he made a joke about the little boy sucking on his finger and he thought it was good, he thought it felt good. I want to let that nigga around my children, cause you don't make those type of jokes, cause there's some truth in that joke for him. So anyways, when you present any kind of situation and she doesn't think that a man deserves any kind of empathy, and again, I will go back to an autobiographical situation I was in. I was talking to a friend and she was like, yeah, one of my exes, he used to always do this and do this and do this, and it's karma, because now he's with a girl and she's always beating his ass and takes all his money and treats him like a bitch. And I was just like, how do you feel about that? Well, I just feel like, if you were a bitch, you should be treated like a bitch, especially if you're a man. And I'm like, you don't have any empathy for this person? You don't have any care for this person? No, because it's just, you know what I'm saying? You either pray or you pray. Like, it's just giving. I'm like, bro, don't you have a son? Like, how would you feel if your son, well, I wouldn't even raise my son and be like that. I'm like, bro, how would you know? Don't you think his mom felt like that at some point? Like, don't you have brothers, or you don't care about anybody in your life that has a penis? Like, having lack of empathy for men when they're going through things that a woman could easily be going through is very indicative of a woman hating a man. Not saying that if a woman lost her job, right, and had to pay the rent, and she just started crying and tore up her whole apartment and was like, oh my god, they're gonna take this apartment anyway, I might as well. Like, okay, I'm not saying that's healthy for a woman to do, but if a woman did that compared to a man, I would be like, nigga, what's wrong with you, bro? Excuse me, I thought that was gonna be a cough. That's not what happened. My body is just feeling weird right now. I would think less of that, man. I would be like, bro, you could have just called me. We could go on Indeed. We can go on all kind of gig apps and get you a job, or at least get you a gig. They'll pay you like $100-something right now. We can go on Craigslist and move some furniture or something. Like, you don't have to do all of that. But for somebody to just be going through something human, like a breakup, and a woman's just like, nigga, go get you some bitches. Like, you just naturally don't care, like you've never been through that. You've been through an unexpected breakup when you thought everything was going right. You thought the person that broke up with you was cheating on you. You felt like drinking all your money up and quitting your job and harming yourself. But when a man's going through it, which is it's human, bro. Like, we don't want to lose the people we love. Or when somebody passes away in their family or a friend, you just think this person's not supposed to respond like a human being. Like, You just hate men. You really hate yourself, but you hate men too. It's just as much. Uh, this one goes back into it. It's like the reverse version. When you have no empathy for men, of course, you just as a human being, unless you're a sociopath or a psychopath, you're gonna have to feel for other people. So, as a woman, when she overly empathizes for women, now, what I'm really saying is, yes, women are going to, people are gonna empathize with their gender overall more than the other one. So, if you're a man, you're gonna empathize with men more because you can actually you felt those emotions, or you had the potential to feel those emotions. As a female, you guys have more emotions, so you're going to more so empathize with a woman, but on a more personal level. I will just say this: I saw an episode because I was just sick yesterday, 2 days ago. I had to stay home because I was that sick. I was watching an episode of Catfish, right, on my phone. And this female, she's not a female, she's a bitch. This bitch catfished her own cousin because, well, her reasoning was for like, it was 8 years, 8 years, because they were in high school, bro. This bitch is crazy. I really would have harmed her. I wouldn't care if she was my cousin or not. I wouldn't have been in the situation anyway, but if he did harm her, you see how I'm thinking? If he did harm her, I would totally understand because this is just outrageous. She catfished this man for 8 years, from high school to now, which that's his fault too because he shouldn't have been on the phone with him for 8 years. Because he was talking to one of her friends. So the male cousin was talking to one of the female cousin's friends. The female cousin knew that the male cousin was socializing with other women at the time. So the female cousin made a fake profile to prove to her friend that he was socializing with other girls. So the female cousin made a catfish profile and talked to her own male cousin for 8 years. Her own male cousin, real male cousin, blood male cousin. They have this. A cousin is when you and another person have the same grandmother. A lot of times we grow up with these people, man haters, right? She catfished her own male cousin because another nigga broke up with her. So she knew how it felt to be cheated on. And because she empathized with her little stupid ass friend so much, she felt like torturing her own male cousin for 8 years. Her own male cousin, bro. Because somebody broke her stupid ass little heart when she was in high school. Sickness. She needs to really be behind them walls, bro. She really needs to be behind them walls. She's sick, bro. Because I felt for her as a woman. You weren't even a woman back then, and you're not right now. You're sick. That's horrible. That's the worst thing I heard in a long time. We also have a display when I was talking to a good friend of mine, when we were talking about the levels of promiscuity and if it's healthy for certain type of people to be promiscuous. And of course, the friend I was talking to was telling me to just let women. Just let women. What is it your business? Why do you even care about this? And of course, what I did was I said, okay, let's pull this video up. Now, the video was of a college student who was a junior in college. She said in her 3 years of her living on campus, she has slept with about 200 guys in 3 years. When we did the math, I can't remember the exact number, but when we did the math, it was about 2 new guys that she fornicated with every day, even on the weekends, sometimes more. with the exception of the holidays. She did say that she would have a boyfriend for the holidays because she would go on vacation to go visit her family. Now, she stayed at a major university. I don't know how big universities are, the population and what have you. But at the end of the day, when I was saying, bro, so you still don't think this is nasty? You still don't think that she should have some kind of self-control and self-discipline? You still don't think that this woman is kind of sick in some way? Even though she's saying that she had intercourse with 200 dudes in a 3-year period, and she was still trying to defend her, like, let women. I don't think you should judge. Don't judge. Like, she would even do the, just let women. She's free. She's liberated. I'm just like, bro, you're gonna really die on this hill. You're really gonna say that this is natural and healthy and there's nothing wrong with her brain and her body's gonna be perfectly normal and she's gonna be able to relate to the rest of society. You really think this? And I'm not to say that if you're a worker or you actually get paid for this is a career for you, that's fine. I totally support that. But if you just don't have enough self-worth, or you just like, you really, that's what you want to do with your life, that's fine. But I just don't think much of you. If you want to get money for it, if you want to make a career out of it, that makes a lot of sense. That makes more sense to me. But if you're just walking around just a regular square and you just want to put 200 things inside you in less than 200 days, that's nasty, bro. That's nasty to me. Yeah. But when you defend people, when you defend females' foolishness, when it definitely goes against society's standards, imagine how little that you would take a man's opinion or thoughts into regard, which is another thing, but this video is 21 minutes long, bro. So I'm going to leave with these last couple points and I'm going to expound on it in a different video in a part 2. So the last couple points are, she doesn't judge women, but she judges men. There we go. She thinks men's empowerment is woman hating. She thinks all men are here to serve her, which is the compartmentalization of men. She doesn't know the power of feminine energy. She assumes malice. She always thinks niggas are on some foul stuff. And she's very dismissive towards men's feelings, thoughts, opinions, or consideration, which is the definition of disrespectful. But it is what it is. It's not what it's not. It's Aaron Moses. Make sure you leave your comments and thoughts on this topic. I'm the man, you the man, we the man together, man. Life is in the breath. Breathe it in. Free the penis. Peace. Gang.